So here it says, yeah, diagram shows the car speeding on a road and it crashes into a boulder, a very big rock. Okay, dan urusan kita, okay, adalah untuk mereka satu kereta yang akan mengatasi masalah ini, to improve on three things. Number one, to improve on the fact that the car stopped too suddenly upon hitting the object. Of course, reading this you already know, it has to do with impulsive force. Number two, the driver thrown out of the car after hitting the dashboard and breaking the windscreen. So this person, if it flies out of the car, of course, it is going to have a very, very bad accident. The likelihood of dying, of course, increases by a lot. Yang ketiga, ada kepingan kaca yang tajam, okay, dari serpihan kaca, the windscreen, cermin depan, that will cut our face, could cut our neck, it could cut very important arteries, right? In that, if you don't have a concussion, if you don't have a whiplash, you will also die from over bleeding, excessive bleeding. So our job, okay, 10 marks. We should come up with 5 aspects of modification and explain what is the physical logic behind these 5 aspects. There are several ways you can design the table. Okay, some people love 2 column. I love 3 column because I think 3 column is very clear and you can answer even bahagian C questions from this. Okay, 2 column, what you will do is left column, you just write there aspect, right column, explanation. For me, I like to have aspect, modification, explanation. Aspect means which part am I trying to fix? Modification, what am I doing to fix it? And explanation, what is the physical logic behind why I am fixing it in that way. So we go by sequence. Let's try the softest number 1 first. The car stopped too suddenly upon hitting the object, hitting the rock, the boulder. So tell me, students, what have you written on your answers? I have not went there and see yet. If you look at the car, there is nothing much that you can design also. Of course, you cannot install balloon inside there. You cannot, there's not much you can do to the car. So one thing you can do, of course, is to design the bonnet. In front of the car, what do? You want to make it soft so that it's easier for it to crumple. Supaya dia boleh renyuk dengan mudah masa dia melanggar batu yang besar. Because when it takes the time to compress, to crumple the front, it will reduce the impulsive force, right? You already know the formula of impulsive force. Yeah? Ft equals to mv minus u over t. You want to reduce the temperature. You want to increase the time to reduce the impulsive force. So instead of boom, you want it to sort of crash and smash into the rock. Take time. So what do we do to increase the time? Okay, we are trying to fix what? We are trying to fix the crumple zone in front. Zone renew. Apa kita buat? We want to make it so that the front of the car must be easily crumpled. Don't copy now, copy later. Front of the car must be easily crumpled. As you can see. Later I'll show you the video. There are some cars which are not designed so well. Okay, the front part, right, as strong as a mountain, not able to crumple at all. That's actually not good. Some people think that, oh, if the car does not crash and crumple, it should be a very high quality car. Wow, actually no. In a car accident, you want the car to be destroyed, not you. Because in physics, you cannot defy the principle of conservation of momentum, the principle of conservation of energy. Where there is energy, it must change from one form to another. It must go somewhere. It must maintain the amount of energy. If the energy does not go to the car, it goes to you. And between life and death, between you and the car, of course, money can earn back. Destroy the car, never mind. Destroy the car also means give you a chance to upgrade your car. Some people, the car nowadays, old people, the car drives 20, 30 years, sometimes, older than the grandchildren, the car don't want to change. is a problem for people on the road, problem also for the environment, correct or not? Huh? Some people seriously, you know. The car, Proton also the logo changed a few times, but the car is still there, you know. 30-year-old car, no. 30-year-old car. If a person own dogs, 2 dogs die already, the car is still there, you know. Okay. And then the exhaust spouting black smoke. Okay, and then of course, creating all sorts of sound. It's time to change the car. So car crumple means it's a good opportunity to change a car. Correct? Joking lah, of course. Let's not hope for accident at all, huh? But anyway, if you increase the crumple zone, what happened? You actually try to increase the time of impact. Increase the time of impact. So you are talking about the T here. You are increasing the time of impact so that it takes more time to distribute, to absorb the impulsive force, so that you will reduce the impulsive force on your body every second. Instead of absorbing, you were still absorbing the same energy. Don't be mistaken, student. If you are supposed to absorb 5,000 newtons of energy, you are still going to absorb 5,000 newtons. The difference is, are you absorbing this 5,000 in 1 second, or are you absorbing it across 5 seconds? Remember I teach you before. The same strength of punching you. Do you want me to give you 1 punch where you KO? Or do you want me to give you 5 soft punches? That's the idea. Okay, so we increase the time of impact. Now for me, there are 2 choices. Either you write that or you write to reduce the impulsive force. Up to you, really. If you write to reduce the impulsive force, okay lah, makes sense lah, right? Because there's nothing wrong. You are giving me a physics concept to reduce the impulsive force, give you mark. But for me, what I like to do is, I like to go deep into the detail. To increase the time of impact. Why? Because you are talking about the factor inside the formula. It tells me that you are a more sophisticated physics student when you don't tell me about this, where you tell me about this. Because that means you understand what are the factors that contribute to the formula. That means you know. Alright? If you change other factors, you will also change the quantity that you are measuring. Good. But again, if you only know to reduce the impulsive force, that's perfectly fine. Seriously, that's perfectly fine. I'm saying that in the future, in higher level, of course, they may demand you to go in more detail. It will be good to practice dissecting the formula, looking at inside the formula, apa yang menyebabkan ataupun apa yang mempengaruhi quantity yang kita nak cari. For example here, daya impuls dia salah satu faktor yang menyumbang kepada daya impuls, masa pelanggaran. Kita faham. Masa kita nak sebutkan, kita nak ubah suai kereta supaya kita boleh panjangkan ataupun lengahkan masa pelanggaran, maksud kita faham apa yang menyebabkan ataupun menyumbang kepada daya impuls. That's the idea. Okay. Clear? Agree with me, crumple zone. That's the first one. Okay, if first one okay, don't copy. Copy later. Go to the second one. Second, the driver threw out of the car after hitting the dashboard and breaking the windscreen. Hitting the dashboard and hitting the windscreen. That means the person, the hit hit the windscreen cracked, and then he fly out of the car. Fly out of the car. Now, if you get crushed inside, it's already one of the problem, Furthermore, now you are thrown outside of, wow, you are going to land 5 meters in front here. You are going to get a concussion. And given the kind of bumps on our Malaysian road, you are probably going to lose an arm. Okay. Correct. Yes. So, what should we do to prevent this from happening? Okay. See, what is the aspect I want to change here? The frame of the car. The frame of the car. We don't want the whole thing to break. We want the crumple zone to be strong. We want the crumple zone to be weak. We want the crumple zone to crumple, but we do not want the entire car to collapse. We do not want the metal frame to break. Now, actually, one of the reason why the windscreen break, kenapa cermin hadapan dia retak, actually not because of the heat knock lah. Actually, no lah. because if the head, imagine lah, if the head knock into the windscreen, kalau yang kepala yang menyebabkan cermin tu pecah kan, imagine how much of a concussion you already get. Actually, most of the time, why people the car windscreen break is actually because the metal frame, bingkai logam ni yang pegang pada kaca tu, the one that's holding the windscreen, it bend, it will force the windscreen to crack. So the story is, we want the front part here, we want it to crumple easily. Kita nak kemik dia dengan mudah. But we want the frame to be strong. Bingkai dia kita nak dia kuat. Okay. So especially I'm talking about these bar. For example, this bar here. Want it to be strong. So the frame of the car, we call it bingkai kereta. What do? We want to make it out of a material which is strong material. Why? Because to prevent the collapse of the car into the cabin, to prevent the breaking of the windscreen. All this okay, no problem, accepted. Again, this thing is very, very up to you. Okay, as long as you obey the laws of physics, as long as you have some scientific sense in what you are doing, we accept. Okay. Boleh ha? What else? Now we talk about the glass itself. Okay, the windscreen glass. So what should we do to the windscreen glass? Now, I think this one is related to number 2 and number 3. Number 2 is, when the windscreen break, you see, we do not want the whole windscreen to disappear. Now, we all know there are many kinds of glass in the world. Ada banyak kaca di dunia. There are some glass which is very weak, right? Like wine glass. You know, the one that you use to drink wine? Ting, ting, ting. Very weak. There are some glass stronger, like the glass in your science lab. Your beakers, measuring cylinders, very strong. Now, we also have some glass which are very, very, very strong, like a glass table. What is the difference between these glasses? Difference is in the way that it breaks. The way that it breaks. When they manufacture the glass, they design it in such a way that is suitable for the breaking, the way it breaks. You see, when the wine glass break, okay lah, no problem lah. Because it cannot break when you are drinking, it break when you put on the table, you knock it break lah. Okay, no problem. Windscreen, when it break because traffic accident. No? So, they must design a kind of windscreen where, if it breaks, it will still hold you. That means, not the whole piece of window drop. Not the whole piece of window drop. Kalau hari ni you pergi sekolah kan, you know your windows in school, they are all made out of the glass panes. Glass pane, correct or not? Glass pane. Each, I don't know what is it called. What kind of window is it called? You have many pieces of glass pane. You know, like half the time it's not even there, you know. Half the time half the window is gone. That kind of window. So what I'm saying is, that kind of glass, if you try to knock it down, the whole thing will disappear. The whole thing will shatter and fall. That's what we don't want, because that is what will make the driver fly out of the car. What we want is, we want the windscreen to break, but we do not want it to shatter. Shatter means what? Shatter means berderai. It is in pieces on the floor. We don't want that to happen. The glass will break. Kaca akan retak. Itu bukan salah. Itu bukan sesuatu yang kita boleh we can boleh prevent it from happening. No, it will break. But we do not want it to shatter into pieces. We want it in a way that when it breaks, the driver will not be thrown out of the car. That's number 1. Number 2, when it breaks, we do not want them to break into sharp pieces. Sharp pieces tu maksud apa? Means that a piece of glass, when it breaks, it will break with sharp edges. Oh. This thing ayo, this thing cut your artery here. 20 seconds you're gone. And it's gonna be a bloody scene. 20 seconds you're gone. Cut an artery. Okay? Cut an artery, of course, you still have the last 10 seconds of your life to see what a blood fountain looks like, and then you'll be gone. You black out. We don't want this. We want it so that when it breaks in small pieces. Without sharp edges. This won't cut you. This is good. So you see, I'm combining here 2 and 3 there. So what do we do? 2 and 3 there, we put it as a shatterproof or anti-shatter glass. Shatterproof glass. Shatterproof means it will crack. It will crack, but we want the thing to stay intact. We want the thing to stay intact. You will see the spider webs and everything. It will crack, but it will not shatter into pieces. Even if it shatter into pieces, we want them to shatter into pieces without a sharp edge like this. Meaning our explanation, of course. Prevent the driver from being thrown out and cutting his face. Preventing 2 things. Prevent the driver from being thrown out of the car. Prevent the cutting of his face or his neck or his body. Okay, so windscreen. So I think from here, we sort of address the basic needs of the question. Okay, with regards to facts 1, 2, 3, I think we solve it quite well. Now we only need to talk about some additional safety features, such as seat belts, airbag. Of course, now let's take a look at airbag. So airbag, we must install in a car. Nowadays, you buy a car, they come installed with very, very good airbags, very, very high quality, as in they are very durable, they are very, very long lasting, they inflate very quickly, and they're very strong. And you should have a minimum of 6 airbags. You see, 1 in the windscreen, 1 on front passenger, 1 on driver, 1 on the back passenger. Okay, left, back, right passenger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minimum 5 5. Some of them they have 6 6 means what? Probably in the middle there somewhere So 5 or 6. So this airbag, of course, it will inflate upon impact, upon something hitting it. It will inflate. Okay, so we want to design it in a way that it is located in the steering wheel, in the windows, and you should be able to act as a cushion. So act as a cushion, that is the first thing we say, like a cushion to you. Actually, the physical logic is what? It increases the time of impact. Again, you see, over here we must mention a little bit of the physical logic, the physics into this question. If you just say acts as a cushion, of course, no marks, because you are not explaining anything to me. Acts as a cushion, so what? What is the function of cushion? Yeah, you gotta ask yourself. So what? So what? It is a cushion. You must say, oh, it is a cushion. The cushion can increase the time of impact. Then okay. Okay, act as a cushion to increase. Okay. And now go to the last one. Very quick. Then you can copy. Last one. Seatbelt. Seatbelt. What is the function of seatbelt? Safety belt. 2 things. Seatbelt, safety belt. Of course, it is to hold you in place so that you do not fly out. Okay, so you do not fly. I think that's the most significant thing It does prevent it from you flying out prevent you from hitting the dashboard Okay, so that you hold you back It will jam whenever it's about to go off. Okay, so install safety belts on the seats. Function to increase the time of impact, prevent the driver from being thrown out. Increase the time of impact here. How? When you are being held by the safety belt, You will stay in a position where it absorbs all the shock. A safety belt will help you to absorb the shock. Safety belt help you to pull the shock. They increase the thermal impact. Then later on also prevent you from flying out of the car. So with this answer, 10 marks confirmed. Okay, so that can. You gotta practice really, because this one, okay, easily 20 marks in the pocket already. If you do this essay question. Boleh just think from which first think of which physical concept they want you to explain. Which physical concept they want to test you on. Then from there you can construct very good modification. Remember, as physics people, our job is to solve a problem. Our job is to come up with a solution to solve a problem. That's what all the physicists have been doing. To come up with a solution to solve a problem. So your job, you must figure out first, what is the problem? What physical law is it not trying to obey? And then you come up with the proper solution. Okay? Alright, so that's all for this question. Are we okay, everybody? Gabriel, Joanne, Kenji, okay? Sumita, Jensen, yes? Divya. If you got anything else, of course, put it in your Google Classroom. I can go and check and mark for you. Yeah? But this is the reference left for you. Okay, so you quickly, okay, find a place to jot this down. Okay, your notebook or whatever. Okay, this is definitely one of the common question. This one is really, I can say, template for your answer. Okay. Even without this part, in exam, even without the bottom part, the moment they give you this picture, these 5 things you write out, confirm 10 marks.